Hey, what's going on, everyone? Vega here for Serpent Tech. Yes, I did get the camera set up working after the lightning strike. Thank you, everybody, for sharing out the well wishes and thoughts and stuff like that. Some of you have been impacted by a situation like that, but we'll talk in a different video. Right now, it's time for Caffeine Crypto, where I welcome you to join me with your favorite caffeinated beverage of choice, coffee, energy drink, whatever you choose, as we go over usually crypto news, markets, what's going on, latest trends, crypto mining. But today is going to be about Dynex. First, let's talk about the crypto markets. I know this week we kind of took a hit. Okay, Bitcoin fell down to 60K, bounced right back up to 61K. Now we're sitting at 62.1, almost 62.2. Ethereum was below $3,000. Good buying opportunities out there. Not financial advice for your various cryptocurrencies. Toncoin down quite significantly over to around $6. And a few of our coins took a hit, right? WIF is down to $1.70. As that coin has been sitting around $2.30, maybe is that a good buying opportunity? I leave that to you. Helium is up, despite everybody being down, but it's down comparatively to what it used to be. So a lot of red in the market. You can see this large candle here that happened, I believe, August 2nd, right? Because we're on the 1 hour right now, and you can see that large candle here. It was a large sell-off, right? DJT, Donald J. Trump, went on to Bitcoin, talking about how the U.S. is going to hang on to the Bitcoin they have. People were getting very excited. Bitcoin was pumping up towards 70K. And then all of a sudden we got some big sell opportunities. So going from Monday, July 29th to where we bottomed out here, we dropped about 13%. Is that the end of the world? Heck no. This is the ebb and flows of the cycle. Everything will be just fine. I do see personally, it was a buying opportunity, and I bought some more Bitcoin, right? Even though bills are tight, I did what I could because I'm trying to stack as much Bitcoin as I possibly can. However, you always do what's best for you, your family, wherever you are in this wonderful world. Now, we have a special guest, as you can see from the thumbnail of this video, with us today. Yeti is joining us to talk about Dynex. Now, I'm going to leave the chart up here, but I'm going to bring Yeti on right now. And I want him to give us some updates because we talked about it at Mine Disrupt this past year. But the content, my camera messed up, and the content, I wasn't able to get it out in the quality that I believe you guys deserves. So I thank you for your patience. I thank Yeti and Dan for their patience. So now let's bring Yeti on and get you guys involved to talk about Dynex. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or otherwise, please feel free to post it in the live chat. Thank you so much for stopping by. And let's see here. Let's bring Yeti on right now. There he is. Yeti, thank you for joining us. There's your audio. And how have you been, sir?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Been busy. Obviously, we met in Miami, which was pretty cool. Went out for some amazing food.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was very good, to be fair.
Got to hang out with...
Big thanks to Dynex for putting that together, because obviously I think that was pretty cool that I think it was 15, right? There was 15.
We had Greater Good, we had your friend Andy, we had the Hobbyist Miner, myself, Endless Mining. Like, there were so many good people in that room. Good food, good drinks, a good time all around.
Absolutely. And yeah, like I say, we did record something. Obviously, you weren't kind of happy with it, so the first thing I offered to you was, let's do it live then instead.
Yeah, we usually do pretty good when we do our lives anyway. So.
Yeah. And obviously, with me and you talk on a regular basis, especially when it comes to obviously Yeti audits as well. So, even though this is a Dynex conversation, like, we've been still working in the background on Yeti audits, especially the link with what Dynex can do on our system. So, I mean, it is relevant in that regard. But yeah, like, just work's been crazy. Like,
oh yeah,
who would have expected me a year ago to be in the position I'm in now? Like, it is kind of been mad.
Yeah, it's been very, 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 very busy. I can't express that enough. A quick thank you to everybody. Jay Bohannon, Endless, thank you for stopping by. Sherm, good hanging out with you at Bitcoin Conference. The Pirate, Automatic Beats, Chris Hanley, Amy Lives Crypto stopping by, and thank you, Retro Mike, for gifting a membership. That Kyle, Crypto Craig, wow, a lot of you guys are in here. Thank you so much for stopping by. If I missed anyone, please do not shoot me. Gundy, Techman. All right, cool. Appreciate you guys stopping by. So, what has Dynex been up to? Because what you told me at Mind Disrupt has actually changed.
Yeah.
So, what's exciting? What's new with Dynex? And thank you for Retro Mike $5 donation. Yeti is my favorite influencer. Crypto Craig Retro Mike is my favorite influencer. You guys are just silly. So, what's going on with Dynex?
Well, we talked about it at Mining Disrupt, right? We had just showcased our three brand new showcases at that time, which was multi-vehicle routing problem, a staff scheduling optimization problem, and something that is called job flow shop scheduling, which is so takes 7 jobs. Inside of that, they've each got 7 tasks. So obviously it infinitely scales to a very large number when you start factoring all that in. So when I showed you that at Mining Disrupt, that was obviously right at the beginning. Now we're about ready to release our next batch of showcase pieces. Those will include something that's very much coming to Dynex. It's a brand new part to our quantum services. So obviously you've heard me talk about a lot about simulated annealing, right? Doing Cubo and that kind of thing, right? An optimization problem. Well,
Right.
we're now activating quantum gate and quantum circuit logic. So you'll be able to take native Qiskit or Penny Lane or any of these AI programs, including something like Llama, and actually process it on Dynex coming soon.
Nice.
That is
That's pretty good.
it's a big jump.
Yeah.
It's going to be massive for that, because at the end of the day, right, if we're gonna offer a quantum service, we need to offer as much of it as possible, right, to compare to a physical. And there's a big difference between our quantum system and a physical. Obviously, a physical is physics inspired, whereas ours is biology inspired. So there's some nuances. There's some different things that have to be, should we say, worked on to figure it out on a scale that we're running. But we're still pushing every day.
So you keep saying the word quantum, and I'm wondering if quantum's coming around because AI has exploded. There's so many different AI cryptocurrencies, AI companies like Nvidia, AMD, Meta, all working on AI. Is quantum, like, are they concerned about the AI's growth potential, and so that everybody's
You're talking about like post-quantum strategies, right?
Right.
What big businesses tend to have already in place, right? But a lot of blockchain stuff, right? We've discussed this. I had a recent discussion with one of our business partners at Dynex, and even like while we were in Crypto Mikel's live stream, I was having a pretty deep chat around, with Crypto Craig about quantum resistance of blockchains. Like, with how close quantum is now to being in a area that would be a danger, like, the blockchain should be starting to look at this kind of thing like now. And if they are saying they're quantum resistance, how are they validating that? Are they actually validating it by getting a quantum machine and testing it, or are they just saying it should work?
Yeah, they're just probably saying it because not a lot of people or companies even have the fund or the resources to even get a quantum computer. Exactly. Now, real quick, I'm going to go back to the flow shop scheduling problem because I just want to read this out loud. The flow shop scheduling problem is a production problem where a set of N jobs have to be processed with identical flow patterns on M machines. The sequence of jobs processing on all machines is the same. We have the permutation flow shop sequencing production environment. What does that mean? Translate that translate that down.
So the easiest way to explain it, right? Let's use a logistics problem. It'd probably be easier, right? So you've got 7 containers that each have to have their own procedure, right? The procedure being they get picked up empty, They get delivered to a certain spot. They get filled up. They get then transported for loading, and then they get loaded, right? So that would be 6. But in our example, there's 7 jobs with 7 individual tasks. Each of those has to be done in a certain order. And the way you do that is you optimize the problem to effectively make sure that no one single element of that stops. The idea is it's supposed to allow clean flow of process, so start to finish for each item. So if you think of it like this, right, you've got 7 with 1 permutation each, right? That's nice and easy for even for a calculator to make sure of, right? Because you've only got 1, it's 7 times 1 effectively, right? Now start scaling it out to big logical problems, like, you know, one thing that's got 50 things that it's got to do, and then you've got 50 of those things that have got to be done. Suddenly the amount of computation you need to work that out it gets exponentially bigger, which is where obviously using quantum and simulated annealing can actually really play a dividend, to be quite honest.
And that Dynex is finalizing that.
Yeah, the flow shop scheduler is actually working now. We're pretty happy with it from a showcase perspective. Obviously, would it need to be tweaked for larger numbers? More than likely, right? Because obviously our showcase pieces are not supposed to be fully fleshed out products. But of course, we do like to at least make sure they're working.
Right. And I'm wondering, so to me, I don't know how to explain this, and tell me if I'm wrong. To me, Dynex is offering, right, because through the marketplace, as businesses are onboarded, it's basically offering quantum level processing, compute or whatever, without a quantum computer.
Yeah. So the easiest way to describe it would be like a quantum. It's not quite an ASIC, right? You can't compare it to an ASIC because it's application specific, right? Ours is not application specific. Effectively, what we've built is a ginormous quantum FPGA. Is the better way for people that like yourselves probably to understand how that works, right?
I like
you can
that.
reconfigure an FPGA, right?
Mm.
You can configure a different bit stream on it, and away you go, right?
Right.
A bit stream basically is an instruction set for that tells the card what to do, right? Well, that's not very dissimilar to what Dynex does. You instruct the network to do as you want it to do, right? So if you want to optimize 1 + 1, then you're effectively reconfiguring that part of our network for that process. So ginormous quantum FPGA is the best way to describe it.
I like that analogy. Because FPGAs are adaptable where ASICs are not.
Correct.
Now, when do you? What is Flowshop scheduling? So it's working, but there's some fine tuning that needs to be done. Do you? I don't want to leak any information or say anything that we shouldn't say. Is there an ETA on when that might be finalized, or is it still just gonna it's gonna be available to the public and then it's just gonna be fine tuned from there?
It's already available on our GitHub.
Okay.
All of our showcase pieces get released onto our GitHub when they're ready. We do have some interesting other showcase pieces. Here you go. I'm gonna stay consistent with what I'm normally like. I'm gonna get leaky.
Oh boy.
But there is some new demos that we're working on right now. One of them is generative music using simulated annealing. So using a state position of an entangled, network, and actually having it work out harmonies, pitch, tones, and keys.
Wait, are you?
So we're working on that at the moment. So you can click a bit, and it'll actually try writing pure music.
Wait,
come out as note form.
Time out. Are you talking about people or artists being able to generate or create their own music through Dynex? That's pretty cool.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I met somebody in Miami who gave me the idea. Um, I won't say his name because I haven't asked him if it's okay if people know yet. But he asked if it would be possible, so we started researching it, and we were already at the point where we can generate a tune. I wouldn't call it a good tune. Ear bleeding is probably more accurate right now, but give us a little bit more time to get the harmony and that kind of constraint, and then generative music might be on the table.
Wow. So we already have generative. We start off with generative, like large language models being able to respond accordingly to our inputs. Then we went to generative images. Hey, we put in, I want a cat in a business suit that's running for office, and we get cat images. Now we got generative movies or videos that look realistic. That could definitely be the next thing is generative music. Now I think there's some companies that are doing it, but I don't think anybody's got it to like a science yet. But I need some copyright free content, okay? I need some music for this channel because I keep on getting hit.
Absolutely. As soon as it's ready, I think that's what we should do, right? It'd be the best use of putting a piece of music on your channel, for example, because you can say not only did you work with a platform that generated it for you, you had all the say in the keynotes and everything like that. So our demo actually asks for like what type of pitch you want, what type of harmonies you want, and those constraints are mathematical, right? So music is just math.
Right. That's what I was just about to say. That
music is just math. So therefore, you can construct it in such a way that you can definitely do generative music. The only bit that's tricky is teaching it how to, actually make good music.
And my son's working on a college degree in music, and he creates music on the side. Like he's going to school for it, but then he's been creating music for a while, but he's more in like I wouldn't call it EDM, but like legacy. Some of you guys that are watching in the live chat, legacy, Sonic the Hedgehog, Mega Man, like those type of
music type soundtracks.
8 beats. There you go. That's the time. So let's backtrack here. We talked about flow shop scheduling here. I did throw a little tidbit about quantum, right? And I think one of our colleagues here in this space just said it, and I'm trying to make sure. Zapirate, here we go. Zapirate said 99% of all AI crypto projects have just AI as part of their marketing. So they're not really AI, but they're putting AI in the title just to get that.
I actually agree with that statement a lot. It's a buzzword used way too much, right? And you can probably tell that I try and stay away from that word because AI to me is very different than what people call AI. What people call AI is just machine learning, right? We're not quite at AI levels yet, where it's deciding its own course of action and going off and doing its own thing, right? AI, or now they've given it a new version, right? AGI is what I would consider, AI. But I hate using that term. We do is machine learning for quantum algorithms.
So while everybody's throwing AI around, I don't recall seeing on Dynex. Let me make sure I'm not talking on the side of my face.
We do have some meta tags for AI because obviously we are able to run what they consider AI applications. I don't particularly enjoy using that term, though. I really don't.
Yeah, but it's
mainly because, like I say, right, me and you are from a different era of technology. When they said AI, what do you think of when somebody says AI?
Skynet.
you think full on AI though, right?
Yeah.
Like we're from that era where AI was actually AI, not something that is just machine learning. It's something that's up, walking, talking kind of presence, right?
Battlestar Galactica. What's that one guy from Star Trek?
Data.
Data. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. I'm sorry, Star Trek nerds. I let you down. All right. So backtracking again, there was a tidbit that I dropped in there about quantum. I feel like the word quantum in Dynex, not in the ecosystem, crypto ecosystem is just using the word AI. Dynex is
Yeah.
using the word quantum.
Yeah.
I wanted to backtrack because as the world is building for AI, I feel like they're worried about quantum being able to break their encryption. So they're trying to, and you sent me a link. They're trying to, I guess, harden their ecosystem project algorithm against quantum. So what would you call that?
Quantum resistance of
Quantum
some kind.
resistance. And you just sent this
Um,
EIP, which is
yeah,
Ethereum,
so
looking into it.
Ethereum actually has an EIP currently in processing. Now, whether the EIP comes through or not, right, it's the fact that it's actually been submitted that somebody suggests that now it's time to look at post-quantum strategies for blockchains.
Right.
And that's a big thing, right? Because Ethereum's kind of, that sort of ecosystem standard, right? Where they've managed to actually get an ecosystem working and have people using it. That's the ultimate goal of any chain, right?
Yeah.
And then obviously you got Bitcoin on the flip side, which is a pure investment kind of thing now.
Yeah.
But how long before networks have to be quantum hardened, in your view? I would say within the next 5 years, personally.
I was gonna say, yeah, 5 to 10 years, and it's moving a lot faster than people probably predicted.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like me and you have had discussions around this when it comes to Yeti audits, right? It's one of the reasons why we do what we do and we don't charge for that kind of service is because we know that bad things can be, hidden around. Now imagine if you've got, on the flip side, you now have to worry about, quantum machines actually attacking your blockchain.
Right.
That's a whole new problem to have to deal with for a blockchain.
Right.
And I don't know how those will react, right? Because do they have the knowledge to quantum harden their network? Not everyone does, right? Not everyone has those resources either. So, it's going to be a really big thing in the next probably 3 to 5 years where we see a lot of quantum hardened networks. The problem is, how are they validating that it's quantum hardened?
Yeah. I think you mentioned at the very beginning is that they
Yeah.
might say they're quantum resistant, but how are they validating they are actually quantum resistant? Um, the mitigation of quantum threat on the Ethereum ecosystem estimates on when a CRQC will be available, ranging from 2028 to 2040. What did we just say? 5 to 10 years. So 5 to 10 years. Let's say 10 years. So 2034. They're saying 2028 to 2040. I doubt it would be 2040, but definitely could see anywhere between 20. The next 5 years. So let's say before 2030 all the way to 2035. Now, what CRQC stands for is cryptographical relevant quantum computer. So things are pushing along, and blockchains. The fact that Ethereum even has this as an EIP, whether it gets implemented or not, is not the point that we're trying to make. The point is that blockchains are looking into this already because things are moving faster than they're protected.
Yeah, that's the interesting bit. There was a really good question, by the way, in the chat I've just spotted.
What's that?
Somebody asked, Holger. Sorry if I butcher anyone's name. He said, Yeti, can you talk about the Dynex Holders Incentive Program?
Please.
I can answer that. Yeah, sure. So DHIP, or Dynex Holders Incentive Program, is our way of, shall we say, looking at a staking option, but without staking. Right, we wanted to do something good for our community, and so therefore we came up with the Holders Incentive Program. There's no lock-ins, there's no tie-ins, there's no anything. You move your funds as freely as you want. The moment you move those funds, though, your balance file that you've submitted obviously is invalid, so you have to resend a new one. Or if you add more to your funds, if you want those funds included, you need to resend your balance file. But basically, every month, 10% of what we generate is then perpetually given back to the community. So based on obviously your holdings. So the higher your holdings, the more slice of that pie you're getting. So it's a 10% slice, and then that's split up between all the holders. So it's been working like what 4 or 5 months now. It does all right. Like once we get the network really busy though, and we're starting to generate some good revenue on a regular basis, that's where the holders incentive program will really get an extra benefit from it. Because obviously once you've put your balance file in, all you got to do is just leave your funds where they are, and every month you'll get a drop of the 10% slice.
But isn't there a limit? There's a max supply of Dynex,
Yes.
right?
Yes, there is.
So
So
out of
when
100,
we take fees for the job, we slice that up. 70% goes back to the miners, right? 20% goes to Dynex and Moonshots. It's actually 18% to us and 2% to our foundation Moonshots. And then there's a 10% slice of that pie, right, that goes back to the holders. So there's no extra money appearing from anywhere. It's the fees that we've generated from running jobs.
from running
Let's
jobs.
give them back.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what does somebody need to do to be involved in that program? Do you remember?
So inside of our core wallet and our web wallet is an option to generate a balance file. All you do is you go to the dhip.dynexcoin.org, drop your wallet address and your balance file, which is just basically a confirmation in encrypted form about how much you've got in your wallet. It's encrypted for obvious reasons. And then once that balance file is locked in, you're registered. That's it. If you change your balance, though, you need to resubmit a brand new balance file.
Okay. So it's no staking period. It's not locked up, but you do need to if I spend some Dynex, I need to resubmit that file.
Correct.
I forgot my web wallet has 2FA. I don't like using my web wallet, but web wallets work. Oh, I have money in here. Oh, that's so sweet. Didn't even know that. So let's see here. Reserve proof? Is that what you're talking? All right.
Yep.
Let me show this. Not like you guys can steal it anyways. Yeah, so reserve proof. Is it not working? Interesting. Maybe my web wallet's messed up. So you could do this on a core wallet. That's the one I like to use. Where's the core wallet? Are you talking about the desktop GUI? The Dynex GUI wallet? That's the one I like to use. That's the one I prefer. I know they got the CLI and the Wallet Daemon, but I prefer... Oh, One Classic has support for Dynex. Guess what, guys? Guess what?
They do.
Stay tuned, because we will be doing a review on that hardware wallet. It just came in. As soon as I got the time and the scheduling, we'll be reviewing. It's the One Key Classic 1S.
Yeah, see, the 1S is not currently supported on Dynex yet.
So this is their first generation. Okay, so the second generation is the one. Okay. Well, either way,
this is the original Classic. That's the upgraded model. However, I can give you a full feedback on this thing.
Okay, yeah, you should do that.
Has been a run.
You should do that. So wait, so the Classic is the original one, and the 1S is the updated one.
Correct.
And
now, I am. By the way, if you wanted to see, hang on a second. Oh, hang on a second. Just trying to show this without actually showing my actual balance, because on the
yeah, don't worry about it. I don't want you doxing
when you
yourself.
open up the balance file, the balance is like written on your wallet, so of course can't share it with you. But the idea is that once you submit your balance file, you're locked into the holders incentive program. There's nothing else you have to do.
Well, we'll probably do a video on that at a later date and time, for sure.
Yeah, we can do that.
And review on the One Classic S1 or 1S in the future. So stay tuned. We got another question here. Crypto Craig asks, Yeti Serpent, can someone use Dynex to test quantum resistance on blockchains and wallets? So projects that claim they're quantum resistant, would there and could there, and not right now because you guys are working on a number of different projects that Dynex is working on, but could projects propose or come to you guys, Dynex, to basically test their quantum resistance and this? Is that a possibility?
So yes, but that would have to go through our ethics committee.
Okay.
Because obviously what we would be doing is technically, shall we say, a problem ethically. However, if it's their own blockchain, I don't see where we would have a problem. It just needs to be correctly scheduled. There needs to be a contract in place so that nobody can say we tried to hack their blockchain or do anything, right? There has to be clear guidelines signed by both parties. It wouldn't be done overnight. It's not that kind of thing. We'd have to talk about what they want us to test.
The funniest
because
thing,
obviously, you know,
I can see how that could be a problem, but I'm just saying, like, in order for people to prove, like, how would you prove something is quantum resistant? Do we even have anything?
Question, right?
Do we even have anything right now?
Craig actually, we're chatting about this on my Kel's stream, right? You know, how are these guys testing? How are they validating? And is there a way that Dynex can help? It's something that we've talked about internally. Me and Dan, who I've just seen in the chat, have talked about it extensively, right? About how, if we build a tool, how can we actually market that, right? Because that could be something really, really useful for blockchains that claim that they're quantum resistant, right? I actually think it's a very sensible idea. But how do you do that in an ethical way? That's the tricky part, right? Because what you're doing is effectively pen testing,
right?
But on a quantum level, which is, you know, you got to remember that's a lot more horsepower that you've got behind you to do bad things,
right?
So there have to be clear guidelines on it.
And I've played around with a pen test team, and the problem is that the CTO and the CEO signed off on the pen test operations, but then some of the other leadership weren't aware of it. And it's kind of like the leader from SEAL Team 6, where he was told to go infiltrate some military bases and not get caught. He didn't get caught. He did show how weak the security was, but then he got in trouble by the congressional. I think he served like 1 year in jail or whatever. But like, the point being is, when you're pen testing, that team got in trouble because only a select few, the CTO and the CEO, knew about it. The rest of the leadership didn't know about it. And so it's kind of like an ethical gray area. So that's why I think pen testing now, you know, basically there has to be some type of legal documentation that this was approved. Correct. And the parameters, like, you know, you can't intercept, you know, the CEO's, you know, Instagram post or anything like that. But yeah, I'd be interested to see how that pans out in the future, because there's got to be a way to prove, because I could just throw I'm quantum resistant on, you know, demo cats or Coochie Coin, but how is anybody going to prove that I'm not?
Correct.
Right.
Correct. Like, it almost becomes almost like a bit like how we've seen with AI.
Right. It's just a term.
It becomes a buzzword or a buzz term, right? Oh yeah, we're quantum resistant.
Yep. So hopefully, you know, in the future, we got 5 to 10 years that this might be a problem. How can we disprove it or improve it?
Correct.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
No, we'll probably see the next evolution of something like SSL, right? We'll be talking like quantum-based SSL, though, where the certificates are made in a quantum environment. Therefore, you can go over multiple dimensions and you change the nature of what security becomes. Every dimension becomes an infinite factor above the last one.
And an SSL certificate, by the way, is commonly used on websites, secure socket layer. That's why a lot of people's websites won't show up, is that they don't have an SSL or HTTPS, a secure connection to their website. They won't show on Google, hence the reason why they get mad. And a lot of people like to mess up their SSLs when it's super easy to set up. But anyways, that's my web brain kicking in. All right, Yeti, for our last 20 minutes or so, anything else that you want to bring up or talk about to the audience?
Okay.
Don't get super leaky.
1 second.
Don't get super leaky, okay? I do like the fact I talk about this all the time. I'm gonna move Yeti real quick. I talk about this all the time. Looking on my screen right now, is projects that come out, crypto proof of work projects, or just projects in general that come out, and they have a GitHub, but you don't see much activity. You can see if I moved out of your way, like right below me, it's very hard to see because I'm kind of in your way. Let me see if I can move. You can see that the SDK has been consistently worked on. Then they got the quantum fold scheduling. They got all kinds of other stuff down here that you can see activity on. That's good. That's a healthy project. They continue to build. And I know a lot of people give Cardano, ADA, IOHK a lot of crap because they want to see price discovery. But Cardano and some of these projects that have built through multiple bear and bull markets are trying to build something for the future. And it's going to take years to complete that. And Dynex is kind of doing the same thing. Yeah, price discovery is not as great, but when you got a product that's just continuing to build through bull and bear markets, the end result is going to be the real thing that everybody is looking for. How does it have a real world impact, tangible benefits to the world? I'm excited to see what they come up with in the future. Go ahead, Yeti.
I guess I briefly touched on this in another call, but this could probably be the better time to announce this. That obviously Dynex is going through a bit of an upgrade when it comes to Web3. We're in the process of integrating more and more Web3 services. So this month will be the Dynex bridge, if all goes to plan. Mr. Vega, thank you very much again.
You're welcome.
It's been much appreciated. And obviously, the next part to that service is to look at name services. Now, most people probably aren't fully familiar with name services. The biggest one that currently is the biggest player in that industry is Ethereum name services. And what that allows you to do is effectively have your name .dnx or .ethereum, right? Or .eth, I believe it is, right? For the Ethereum name services. So, I might have Y3ti.eth, right? That translates to an actual address.
Right.
The whole thing's done in the background, basically. It still knows that that's your address, therefore it can still send the payment. It just does an internal resolve. Well, we're now integrating that with our system. So, for example, you could have Vega.dnx. We basically purchased the TLD of .dnx. We're partnering with Decentraland, as you can see up in the top corner. This isn't ready yet. It's not quite there. We've got a couple of little bits still to fix. But then you're basically, from your own wallets, you'll be able to basically send a payment to that DNX address, and it will do all the rest for you, like Ethereum name services. Just it'll be Dynex name services. The only problem is we can't shorten that, so we might actually have to go with Dynex name services protocol, mainly because otherwise it's going to be shortened to DNS. And I'm not quite sure that the people over at, everywhere that gives out the trade infringements would be appreciative of us calling it DNS.
Right.
So we're going to probably have to go with something different at that point.
So I'm not sure if you guys understood what Yeti said, but just to repeat, loudmouth.eth. He's an influencer in the crypto space. If you actually send Ethereum or assets or ERC20 tokens to that address or to loudmouth.eth, it will go to his wallet address. I showed you this with unstoppable domains, right? You can assign a domain, right? So vega.dnx, and then if you send Dynex or any Dynex assets, because maybe there might be some in the future, it will go straight to that wallet through that name service.
We're also bridging it onto Ethereum as well, so that effectively it will work on Ethereum at the same time. Because obviously it'll work for our wrapped token.
DNX. Well, you stay tuned for that. But all I gotta say is, I was asked to look through the smart contract, and provide the information so that way they can do. I didn't see anything that stood out to me, but there were some small things that needed to be optimized. But other than that, it's an ERC20 contract. So it's gonna allow Dynex to be on Ethereum. Now, I'm not sure if we can say this, but again, the token supply for Dynex is 110 million DNX. Right now, total supply is 93.5 million DNX. So there's still more to be mined per block. About 85% of the token supply is out there. What's going to happen is going to be 1-to-1 on Ethereum, from my understanding. So you would put some Dynex in. Let's say I put 10 Dynex into the Ethereum ecosystem. I would get the wrap Dynex in place of that. But it's 1-to-1.
Minus obviously gas fees, which we can't we can't do anything about, right? But we're trying to make it as cheap as possible on our bridge, so then the balance goes both ways.
There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, like the gas fees are because of Ethereum, and even though Duncan upgrade came out and it did kind of improve, the Ethereum gas at times can still be a killer or a deal breaker. That's why I wait till like Saturday. Oh, sorry, an ad just played. I've been trying to skip the ads. My apologies. But anyways, I've been trying to only trade anything on Ethereum on Sunday night or Saturday night or Monday super early morning, because during the weekdays it can be up there. But that's because the suits are trading Monday through Friday during normal work days. So yeah, it can affect. But I don't think that's going to be a deal breaker as far as. And it's going to give it a new market. Like we're looking on screen right now. You can't see Yeti. Let me bring Yeti back here. Are you done showing your screen, or was there something else you wanted to show?
No. For now, that would be fine.
I'd be interested to see how that goes in the future. All right. So
Web3 though facilities is something that we're very keen on adding. Right. We understand that a lot of the crypto sides, we want to obviously now start pushing for some of those integrations. We've done most of the integrations that we need to from the business perspective, but obviously from anything else, we need to make sure that we're all good, right? So we understand, and now we're realizing that maybe we didn't do as much on the crypto side. We're now fixing that. And that's why you're seeing now the integration with Web3 services. I believe even Zelcore announced that they were going to look at adding Dynex. I believe there was a tweet from Mr. Dan Keller the other day that suggested that Dynex is coming to Flux Core from a mining perspective and to Zelcore from a wallet perspective. Now, obviously, I'm not going to put words in Dan Keller's mouth and suggest a date, but that would be pretty cool from from people using the platform. All right, Flux and Dynex haven't maybe seen eye to eye in the past. Doesn't mean we can't do what's right for the community.
Right, and this, something I say to everyone in person or online is a lot of these projects, and it's not just Dynex and Flux, just all these projects in general.
Yeah,
they start to get super competitive, and there's plenty of space in the blockchain ecosystem, or in this ecosystem, the crypto ecosystem as a whole. There's plenty of space for everyone. Everyone has their niche. I know, again, if I go back to the category for AI, there's a lot of AI, but like render, what is render? Render's focusing on video compute and render, right? Like everybody has their niche in their place, and there's certain spots that everybody can fill, and there's going to be some overlap, of course, but there's plenty of space for everybody to grow. Now, real quick, going back to what I was saying, is something I want to point out here. We're talking about keep in mind what we're talking about right now is the Dynex bridge to come in the future. Stay tuned, follow them on Twitter, get in their Discord, so on and so forth, hang tight. But you can see here, what is the number one? And we're looking at Ethereum, not Alphium, as I've been corrected. Ethereum. What is the number one market, guys? Pop quiz. It's Uniswap, right? When Uniswap, or that Ethereum bridge for Ethereum, came out, what happened to the market price? Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen for every token that gets on Ethereum. I'm just saying that is a possibility. Obviously, Lithium's price is kind of being hit right now because the ASICs coming online. The big boy ASICs are now in charge. The GPUs and FPGAs have fallen off. But you can see that once they showed up on Ethereum, their price started getting nice little helping hands. Why? Because they just opened the door up to more people, to more retail investors, to more companies, individuals, whatever it might be. So if we go back to Dynex, right, which has a few markets, we got Gate, Mexi, BingX, Bitmark, XT. We add Uniswap or some type of Ethereum swappable protocol.
Yep.
That's gonna help out in that market price for Dynex.
Yeah, it's gonna open up a new avenue for liquidity into our markets, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's something that we've been discussing for months. It's something that Ivan, our head of development, has been driving for many months, and it took a while because obviously we've got to look at it from a security aspect. What happens if there's a problem? We've heard of how many bridges being hacked over the years, right? Like, we're not taking risk. That's why Yeti Audits did the internal auditing on that smart contract. It's why also we're having a third party do an audit on that contract, because more eyes on it who can actually give us the answers is better than just ourselves. So all of that's in progress. And once obviously that's finalized, that's when we can take it live. But
Just be
when
patient.
it comes to Ethereum smart contracts, or smart contracts in general, me and you, Vega, we both know this. We don't take risk.
No.
They're way too easy to screw up on.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And I mean, that's why Yeti.uk or Yeti Audits was born. Is Yeti and I got tired. Yeti got tired of people using wallets for new cryptocurrencies that had malicious intent to drain your funds or whatever it might be. And I got tired of these new products popping up on ERC20, BRC20, or whatever it might be, that are just here to pump and dump and take your funds or freeze your assets. That's the biggest one I'm seeing on Solana.
Out in like March time early this year, there was like 400 something like rug pulls or pump and dumps on Solana alone in the first 3 months of the year.
It's ridiculous.
That's insane.
It's ridiculous, and that's how some of these people are taking the community's money. But real quick, Chris Hanley says, has the ETF, talking about the Ethereum ETF, affected gas prices at all? It hasn't, to a degree.
Haven't noticed anything yet.
It hasn't, to a degree, because once the Biden administration flipped, everybody already priced in that the Ethereum ETF was going live. Hence the reason why Ethereum was marching up to 3,500, and basically those institutions that were going to get their ETF approved were gobbling up Ethereum. So if anything, it was happening back then, not so much now. Now, coming back to the bridge situation, Rona Network lost $620 million in March 2022. BSC Bridge, $568 million. Wormhole Bridge, $320 million. Nomad Bridge, $190 million. Horizon Bridge, $100 million. We could go on and on. There's been so many of them. So yeah, internal audit was done. Third-party audit, I believe, is underway. And once that bridge is finalized, tweaked, and good to go and launch, I think that's going to help in Dynex's price discovery. But most importantly, again, it's just going to open the door. Let's say we have a big party and all of you guys are parking out front. You guys are only coming in through a small door. No, screw that. You guys are coming in through a window right now. One by one through a small window, you guys are having to squeeze in. I just opened up the garage door. Now more people can come in quickly to the party, get what they need, interact with the ecosystem, and get the heck out. Like, it's going to open that door to so much more. And I'm excited to see how that goes. But, Dynex continues to build. I know the market is not exactly helping us, but I think while we're at the beginning stages of the bull market, we still have a long way to go.
Sure. 100%. We're not even there yet.
No, whatsoever.
But the thing is, as we've learned over the last couple of cycles, right? The ones that tend to build in the bear markets do exceptionally well.
Right.
They
You
do
look
exceptionally well because they're built on good foundations, right? Because during a bear market, you have to have good foundations, otherwise you don't get any recognition.
right, but
So,
I just know from history what happens is everybody is wanting price. They want the moonshot right now. They
of
don't have
course,
the patience to wait, and then they move on to the next project only to get wrecked. So
I mean, it's quite funny because Bitcoin got 7 years before it really started to pick up.
right, it
Could you
took time.
imagine everyone having to give 7 years to every project?
They don't have the patience. They have
No,
ADHD. They want to move on and get the next cat coin. But yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah.
It's actually what gives blockchain a bad name because it's the cryptocurrency side that's given it that bad name at times, right?
Oh,
For all the
100%.
pump and dumps and rug pulls. But
100%.
we as a business have a blockchain. We're utilizing that blockchain to build out an infrastructure. That's for us a big difference than just a crypto project. We didn't start off with crypto. We started off with the business, built the business to a point where we needed the blockchain, and then built on top of that.
I mean, Dynex's market cap's only 41 million. If that market cap can get to hundreds of millions, that the price will follow. It's just a matter of
Oh,
getting the clients and there I can't say anything, but let's just say things are happening in the background on the business or enterprise level, and you just need to be patient. As far as
well,
you and
I know there's been some talk around our dispenser. Maybe we should address some of
yeah,
those questions as well,
go
right?
ahead.
Obviously, I know people have been complaining about the job dispenser, how it's still so low. But obviously, you've got to remember that we even that out so it goes over every single block on our network being produced. So, of course, when you factor that in, it's actually considerable amount of Dynex that we're putting in, even at 1.4 Dynex per block. That's still a huge sum every day that the subscription is putting in. Now, obviously, that's going to rise the more subscriptions we sell. Dan is in there. No getting too leaky, Dan. I see the messages. But basically, myself, Dan, Charles, Sumi, and the other co-founder, Daniela, are all working every day. I mean, me and Dan do 60 meetings a month-ish. This month's actually been a few more. But, we're getting out there, we're getting in front of people, we're getting in front of companies, and that's all we can do. Dealing with big enterprise customers doesn't happen overnight. Right, it really doesn't. And I would love nothing more than our job dispenser to be pumping out, 50 to 100 Dynex every block. But for us to do that, we need to be generating in excess of $1 million a day. If not, no, about probably $1 million a week at the moment to do that. And that takes time,
Yep.
Like, it's one of those upsetting situations, right? People would love nothing more than us to be, pushing all of our money into it and pumping our own price and doing that. We're not interested in being the next pump and dump project. We're planning on being here to stay. Planning for building for the future. You can't build for the future if you're broke. We we have a staff base of 50 people. They've all got to be paid, right? Like, everyone's on a wage. Nobody working for free.
See, the problem though is I think everybody in the community looks at Dynex and thinks with their crypto brain. They don't think with their business brain. I think
The
that
problem is we're a hybrid of both. We
right.
have to have an approach for both sides. It's one of the reasons why we actually have two websites. We have our enterprise side,
We
which
have
basically rewords it for a more enterprise level offering. And then we have our blockchain side, which is Dynex Coin. Because obviously we can put all of our tokenomics there, all of our information around the crypto project itself.
and you got to think
Just
what they're targeting. Look, the
yeah,
enterprise. artificial intelligence, pharmaceuticals, automotive and aerospace, financial services.
Dynex.co.
Yeah, that's the one I'm on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like
It's a very different offering compared to our blockchain side.
two different websites, two different
Yeah.
sides of the coin, right? You know, Yeti is dressed the way he is, and I'm dressed the way I am. Even though I don't work for Dynex, I want to make that crystal clear. I work on Yeti audits. Yeti
Correct.
audits and the tools being built are on Dynex, so it's a good use case.
We have a working agreement from Yeti Audits to Dynex for, you know, occasionally they can call us for an audit service if they need, you know, if they're releasing a new wallet update, we get the call to give them an audit, and so forth. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot coming to Yeti Audits because of the new things coming to Dynex. You know, so even though we're two separate companies, what we run is a showcase for Dynex at the end of the day, right? Because Dynex can go, look, there's a company using it. Here's their name. Here's their website. Go check it out. So we're very much pushing the boundaries for their client profile, right? We both understand that it's a mutually beneficial agreement, to be fair, right? We get some services with Dynex available to us maybe before they're released to the general public, so we can be as well prepared for those new changes. You know, and Dynex gets a showcase piece that's up and running. It's a fantastic idea, right?
And Yeti audits is for you guys.
I did notice a message from Chris Hanley there. It says sensitive subject. Could Dynex do something similar to Salad, or is it essentially what the marketplace is? So we're not a GPU rental service. We're not a rental service of any kind. You can't run normal programs directly on Dynex. It's not that kind of computation. Quantum's a very different type of compute, which requires a whole different type of coding for it. Even though it's written in Python and Node.js and those kind of formats with an SDK, the understanding around it is not just a rig rental. The companies using it are doing quantum-based algorithms, and those don't translate into the same way, unfortunately.
Just look at the GitHub. Just look at the GitHub. Look at some of the things that they're working on. Like, yeah. It's much more advanced than just, hey, render this Avatar movie out for me.
Now, it'd be interesting once we got all the gate-based logic finalized and we're running, because even generative art, all of those things that have been kind of unavailable on a quantum level are going to be available because of this new gate-based translation layer. And it will open up brand new avenues for us to do testing with. I can already think of like 4 new avenues just in pharmaceuticals. I can think of a couple in automotive.
Right.
100%.
So everybody just be patient, hurry up and wait. I know we want things to happen right now, but we can't always get instant gratification. But I'm excited for what Dynex has to offer for the future and what they're building on. And I'm always appreciative of Yeti and Dan throwing me some tidbits, information every now and then. Again, I don't work for Dynex. I work with Yeti audits, but like what Yeti said, Yeti is a showcase of what Dynex can do. And I think we got some great things. I know Yeti audits kind of slowed down a little bit as far as the audits we were pushing out, but just hang tight. We've been really busy, as you know. Huh?
Should we show them?
Not yet. Not yet. I would say yes, but good things are coming to Yeti audits. We'll probably do a dedicated video, and maybe we'll have Yeti on again. Because it's always
that might
good.
even be a good idea for a dedicated video once it's ready, because they'll probably need a little how-to guide type of scenario, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's been a work in progress, and I know you guys want things again now, but hang tight. But keep an eye on some of these blockchains, right? So you're going to see blockchains, whether it's EIP or HIP or whatever IP, they're going to be looking at trying to make their blockchain quantum resistant. And again, the question is how can you validate that they are truly quantum resistant? So keep an eye on that. The technology is far out. We got fluid shop scheduling being worked on by the Dynex team. There's updates coming all across the board. Just keep an eye on their Twitter. Jump in the Discord. Ask questions. And Yeti, as always, it's a thank you for your time and for you coming on with me. Do you have any closing words you want to share?
No, I think we covered quite most of it. Like, I think though definitely another video for Yeti audits is probably due.
Yeah, we'll do that.
But like I say, we're continuously building. We have staff all over the world. We don't close. You know, all of our developers are spread worldwide. So Dynex is open 24/7. And eventually, once we've got our mods situated right, we'll probably have mods available 24/7 for support. So we're trying to build a certain standard that showcases what blockchain can be used for from a business perspective. So, you know, just bear with us, give us a bit of time. We are working on it. The price sucks right now, yes. But so does most of crypto right now.
Dude, all of them. Yeah, GPU mining has
everything
never been so
right
horrible. FPGA mining has never been so horrible. But
yeah, everything just looks horrible right now. But don't worry, just sit tight. You know, it's the same as what we always say. It's just another bump in the road, right? We always get them. We just got to hang tight, and it'll slowly build back up.
This is the ebbs and flows. Welcome to Bitcoin. Welcome to blockchain and crypto. But Dynex right now, if you had 63060s, is making you at 10 cents per kilowatt hour only negative 17 cents, but you're making 2 Dynex a day. So again, as I say, and there'll be a upcoming what is the most profitable crypto to mine throughout the previous month in the future. So hang tight. It should be sometime this week. But long story short, don't look at the amount in fiat. Look at how much crypto you're earning of the asset that you believe in. Make sure your convictions are good, right? If you believe in Dynex or any of these tokens, you better have your strong convictions. If you don't have your strong convictions and you let the fiat terms price you out, then you're gonna get wrecked. Don't do that. But Yeti, thank you once again. We're gonna send you guys over to Red Panda Mining. The market sucks. Everything will be okay. Retro Mike, thank you again for a nice $5. That's $10 you sent me. Thank you, sir. Thank you for everything both of you do.
Blame Panda for the market drop. He's obviously had to sell for energy again. Obviously having to pay for power. That big drop is just Panda paying for his power. That's what it is.
Yep. That large red candle. Yep. So thanks for everything both of you do to positively impact the space. Love you guys. Love you too. Endless, Dan, Patriot, all you guys. Fudweiser, I can't name it all, but I appreciate every single one of you. You all have yourself a wonderful day. I'm going to leave you with a nice little Dynex sponsor spot and send you all over to Red Panda. So hang tight, sit right there. I'll direct you right now. And yeah, you just take care of yourselves. Have yourself a great day. Don't forget to smash that like button on the way out. Get subscribed. Hit the notification bell to stay up to date, as well as check out additional links in the description to help support the channel and what we do here. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.
You know quantum computers. You know blockchain. But do you know both together? Dynex was the first platform to create a neuromorphic supercomputing blockchain-based algorithm which solves real-world problems. And the best part? Anyone can post a job, whether a company from the Global 2000, a machine learning job, or fintech and pharmaceutical. And if you don't want to program it yourself, get an expert directly at the marketplace. Run the job and be impressed by the fast result.